So the first six episode of Love is Blind season 8 just dropped, and we're just here to talk about all these couples. We had five couples from this first six episode, and I want to also talk about a particular couple. I felt like I was surprised that there was not a couple that ended up from that issue. But first, let's talk about those that ended up being couples on this first six episode. We have Monica and Joey from, I think, from episode 3. They became a couple. He asked her to be his wife. Then we also had Sarah and Ben became a couple from this episode. I didn't really see this couple making it because when she asked about his political views and everything, he said he didn't really have one, and she had a particular political view, and she wanted to be sure that his her own political views aligns with her husband. For me, I feel like that's what I want. Also, I also love my own political views to align with whoever is my partner. So I did understand her dad, but since he doesn't have a political view, maybe she could teach him her own. I guess she can do that. Then the third couple we had, it was Lauren and David. Now I have a lot of things to say about this couple. I'm gonna save it for later. We also have Virginia and Devin. And the last couple from this episode was Taylor and Daniel. Now, let's first talk about, like I said, we're going to talk about the problematic couples. The first one I want to talk about is this particular couple, this particular set of people that didn't end up being couples, which I had high hopes for, but I was so surprised that it didn't happen. These particular people, we have Alex, we have um, Madison, we have Meg, and also we have, what's this guy's name? And Mason. Now, this is the situation of the episode, of this from episode 1 to 6. Mason met in the pod Meg and Madison, and he liked the both of them. Why Alex was mostly talking with Madison, right? Now, Madison was more drawn to Alex. We could all see that she was more drawn to Alex. Although I had my reservation, the thing is that when I was watching the episode, when I saw that she was more drawn to Alex, I questioned. I was like, is this relationship going to be healthy? Because the both of them come from very traumatic past, and they are trying to heal from that trauma. I was like, do I think that this relationship is going to be good for two people that have gone through traumatic childhood, traumatic past to come together and become one? I don't really see, for me, in my own opinion, I did not really like that equation. But I'm like, it's not me. It's not my life. It's them. If they can handle it, fine. Because I would not want to be in a situation where I've gone through a lot of trauma in my childhood, and I want to get married to someone too that went through trauma, and most of them they've not really, outgrown that trauma or really very well healed from it. So I was kind of scared that she was more attracted to Alex. But it was there. She was also talking to Mason, right? She had this thing for Mason. And I was like, okay, maybe this was going to, maybe when she sees more that Mason is, the kind of person that could probably heal her, especially when he said that stuff that if you need a mom and dad, you can, if you need a mom, you can meet me, that kind of thing. I thought that he was kind of getting her, but I realized in some episodes, I think I realized in like episode 4 or episode 5 that I don't think Madison might really go for Mason. I saw her leaning towards Alex. And I think at that moment, then Mason was also talking to Meg. And the relationship, it was going nice. I thought, it was bubbling, the conversation was flowing, everything was going right. I did think that there was hope for for Meg and Mason. I did think that it was, as the episode was going forward, Alex, I think he started hitting Alex that okay, this girl has gone through, and when they were having so much chat, they talked about so many traumas they've talked about. I think he now maybe he's like really looking like we are kind of trauma bonding. Yeah, he felt like maybe they were trauma bonding, and I think he started, shaking a lot of things towards him. He wasn't, his energy started shifting, and I think Madison realized that his energy was shifting, and she then started putting too much work into the relationship, like giving him a teddy bear to cuddle during the night, doing things that made him feel like, okay, okay, you know what, this relationship can be it. Then she went back to Mason and be like, "Oh, you are not validating me. You are not giving me the assurance that it's me that you want." Now, that was where Mason made the biggest mistake I think he made in the season, was to validate Madison and be like, "Yeah, Madison, you are the one I really, really like. I feel comfortable with you. You are the person that, you're in my heart. You're the one I dream about. You're the one I think about every time." Immediately, he made that statement that he sees Madison so much that she's the only one in his thought. I said, "Oh man, this is gonna be a fuck up," and I felt sad because Madison knew that she had more feelings for Alex than Mason. Why were you asking for validation from Mason when you knew that you had more feelings for Alex? And it's like, you have more feelings for this person. Why are you asking for validation of feelings from from another person that you did not have that such feelings for? I felt it was unfair that Madison would require that from Mason, but at the same time, a girl is a girl. The girl wanted to make sure that she knew that the guy had her in case her and Alex doesn't work out. Um, she might go for him. Now he has said that she has gone back to the girls and be like, "Yeah, he validated my feelings, he blah blah blah." Now Meg is like, "Oh wow, he validated her feelings. Wow, how are things gonna be?" Now, getting to the period, like, and Alex kind of also did the same thing by reassuring Madison. Alex also did the same thing by reassuring Madison that, okay, you know what, we are good. After the effort she made to make him be like, "You know what, I'm into this," Alex affirmed her feelings, and she was like so solid. I think at that moment she was so like, you know what, at the like, yeah, Madison, Alex is going to choose me, and that was why she went back to Mason and rejected Mason and told him that, you know what, when we are not like this, like, I don't think we're gonna last. I don't think we're gonna work because I have more feelings for somebody else. I think that if Alex had not made her feel comfortable in the feelings or their relationships or their conversation, I don't think Madison would have rejected Mason. It's because he made it look as if, you know what, I'm okay, I'm understanding where you're coming from. I think I might give our relationship a go. He made her feel like he wanted to give the relationship a go. Then she rejected Mason, and now Meg knows that, okay, no, Mason rejected her simply because, and I said it, the only reason why this rejection came is because earlier on the guys have chatted, and Alex had already told the guys that he was going after Madison, and that's like his only this thing, and she has told him that she likes him. Now he knows that, oh, she likes this guy, and as at that moment that registered to him that, you know what, okay, Madison is not for me. I think I'm gonna go for somebody else. I'm gonna go for my second choice. Then they break up. Madison and Alex, I'm sorry, Madison and Mason, they break up. He then decides to go back, and that's why I felt like that was very stupid of him. He then decided to go to his second choice after knowing that, from the beginning, Madison has been your first choice. You then decided to go to Meg because you felt like Meg has been this bubbly. She has no Meg has always had Mason as her first choice and nobody else. And now Meg has heard from the ladies and Madison about her conversation with Mason and knows by now that Mason validated the feelings of Madison and say, yes, you are the only one in my thing. I was literally saying that if my Meg had chosen to stick with Mason, I would have been like, I would have been disappointed because you cannot pick me as a second choice just because you feel like you were going to be rejected by your first choice, and you then took me as an option. And I think that is what the guy wanted to do, because when I saw those roses, I knew, oh, he decided to come to his second choice after the first choice denied him and rejected him. But I loved how Meg stood on her 10 feet and was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I wanted somebody that was for me and me alone. Simple, short. I'm not faulting you because that's the experiment. We are here to find love, and in so doing, we have to, chat and talk with a lot of people. So if you did that and you found somebody that you had more connection with me, I don't have any problem with it. That's just it. But that bullshit he was trying to pull off, that by the time he found out that Madison was never going to choose him, he decided to now make Meg. And I think he thought that Meg was going to go for him. And when Meg started talking, he realized that no, yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up. I royally fucked up. Meg is not going for me. And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry that I had more feelings for somebody. She was like, no, it's not an offense. It's not an offense. You didn't commit any crime. You did the right thing. This is an experiment. This is what we're supposed to do. But I'm not going to take any man that takes me as a second choice. That's not why I'm here. Simple and short. And that was how Meg shocked him off. And that was the how Mason lost out on Madison and lost out on Meg, because he validated before he found out how each of them felt. So he lost out on Meg and lost out on Madison. Now going back, now this was where the shock was. When I thought that Alex, and because I was like, okay, now we're gonna have the official couple as Alex and Madison. And Madison was so happy. Now when she came into the pod, I waited. I didn't see flowers like every other person that asked them to be their wife. You would, when they come in, you see flowers in the pod. I didn't see flowers in the pod. And I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Are they still having chats? Everybody's coupling or everybody's engaging. People are going back home. I'm like, what's going on with them? Just for this guy to be like, you know what, I've thought about it, and the emotions and everything, with the trauma and everything, with everything going on, I don't think this is the right choice for me to do. I don't think this is the right thing for me to do right now. I don't think I've gotten to that place where this is the right choice for me. I'm like, you don't think you got to the place for marriage, but you came on the show. I call bullshit. If you say you have looked at it that she's gone through her own trauma, and you don't feel like you want to, put another person's trauma and your trauma together in one same building, I would understand. But you using the fact that you felt like you are not ready, you were ready. That's why you registered. That's why you came on the show. If you didn't feel that you were not ready, why did you come? But I'm gonna say I love that he made that choice. I was surprised that Alex did not pick Madison. I was surprised because he felt like he was gonna pick her, but that was an okay thing for me. Like for me personally, watching the show as a viewer, I would say yes, I loved that decision he took, because I felt like the trauma between the both of them was just too much. Every time I watched them talk about themselves, what they've gone through as kids, teenagers, and as even as adult, I felt like no, it's just too much to unpack between the both of them, and I don't think it was healthy for the two of them to come together in that situation. So I was glad he took that step, although his excuse was a bullshit for me. But for me, I stamp on that thing. That was how at the end of the day, those four, Mason, Meg, Madison, and Alex, ended up going home without any of them being in a couple. So I guess we'll see how that's gonna work out for them, because it seems like when we see the trailer for the next six episode, it feels like maybe one of them did come together. But I guess we'll talk about that when we watch the next episode. Now, the next couple I'm going to talk about is Virginia and Devin. Now, Virginia and Devin ended up being a couple, but before it became Virginia and Devin, we had Virginia, Devin, and Brittany. She said it was Bethany. Oh, we had the three of them in that situation. I'm not gonna lie, watching as a viewer, I thought that Devin had more connection with Bethany than with Virginia. They had so many things together, like similarity things they loved that were together. And he was, aggravating to that. He was loving that. So I felt like, yeah, see, as at episode 4, I was solid on my decision that okay, Devin was gonna pick Bethany over Virginia. But the moment she came on that episode and she said, I have something to tell you, and it was like, okay, I'm listening. She literally said, I'm bisexual. At that moment I was like, yo, I stood up from my chair. I was like, yeah, that's over. I know at that moment, I knew at that moment that Devin was never going to choose Bethany again. He was going to go to Virginia because he did not like that bisexual thing. Especially when he asked the question, I was like, okay, are you saying that now you're no longer interested in girls, that you stopped being interested in girls? And she was like, no, I'm still interested in girls, but I'm a man. And I'm one person that when I'm dating one person, I focus on that person. He didn't like the fact that she still said she was still interested in girls. No pun intended. At the end of the day, is his choice. He doesn't want to date someone that is bisexual. That is his choice, and he stood by it. But I just knew at that moment that yeah, it was over between Bethany and Devin. I knew at that moment. And I'm grateful that Bethany decided to say, you know what, yeah, at that moment when she came again next on the post, she knew that yes, she knew from his voice and everything and the way he spoke that maybe this guy has had a shift. And so she spoke up for two of them. I was like, you know what, yeah, at the end of the day, let's just end it. It was good knowing you. And he was happy because he too was coming to end it. But he liked it that there was no they didn't have to have too much of a conversation, and they just ended it, and he decided to go with his choice. Do I think she was his first choice? Do I think Virginia was Devin's first choice? No. But I think at that moment when Brittany was no longer in the picture, he decided to just go with Virginia. That was just it. And I wish them well. We're going to see them in their honeymoon phase to see how that will turn out. Now, the next couple I want to talk about is Lauren and David. Now, this couple, before they became the couple, David was seeing two ladies, Lauren, and he was seeing Lauren and also seeing Molly, right? Now, I felt like he had more connection. I felt he had more connection with Lauren than with Molly. But I think he had more similarities with Molly, you know. But it could be very tricky. But if when I was watching, I would have said pick Lauren than Molly. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one picking, they are the ones picking. So I was so shocked. And Molly was, Lauren was like so happy, was like, yo, my man, my man, my man, my man, so happy that she's with this guy, that she loves this guy, and she's getting to know him. And she was literally only seeing only David. She was only seeing David. And Molly was like also into David only. She was also into David. And the both of them were getting to know David, and David was reassuring the both of them in a certain kind of way. Not that he really say he wasn't like Mason that like validated Madison. He was not validating anybody, but he was like, giving them like, okay, I like you too, I like you too. Now, I don't know whether it was in Molly's head or what. Molly decided to tell the ladies that he kind of have validated her and was kind of saying he was going to break up with Lauren. Now, I'm not going to blame her because it kind of seemed that that was what David was driving at. He didn't really say, okay, yes, I was going to break up with Lauren, but the way he said it kind of seemed as if he was going to break up with Lauren. That is what he kind of insinuated that he was going to break up with Lauren. And that was why Molly was so happy. I was like, you know what? Yeah, he's my man now. He's going to break up with Lauren. Then Lauren heard a yes about it, goes to him to the port. I was like, why did you say you're going to break up with me? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I never said that. I never said that. Still gave her reassurance. I was like, yeah, you're my number one. Oh my god! When I heard that, and I was like, Molly out in there is like literally happy that he's gonna break up with Lauren, just for him to go to Lauren and say, you are my number one. Then Lauren comes back, Molly looking like, ooh, so the breakup didn't happen? The breakup didn't happen? Okay. So are we fooling ourselves? I was so surprised when he finally, I didn't even know the way David was so, I don't trust David, the way he played it. I don't trust him. But I was shocked that he finally picked Lauren. I was literally shocked. He spoke to Molly. I was like, you know what? I never said that I was gonna break up with Lauren. Sorry, with Molly. I never said I was gonna break up with Lauren. I didn't really give you that assurance. I feel like I have more connection to Lauren. And he kind of when Molly like accused him of trying to make her be the one to break up or trying to push the breakup on her. I accept that because he was trying to do that and she wasn't taking it. She didn't want that. She wanted him to say with his own mouth. I think that was what he was trying to do. So it was great to see somebody put David in his place. But he decided to go with Lauren, and now him and Lauren are a couple. Do I think they're gonna last? We're gonna find out in the next episode. The last couple we're gonna talk about, guys, is Taylor and Daniel. Now, this couple, there was no issues during the pod. They were flowing. Taylor was literally serenading. Daniel was literally serenading and was literally making Taylor fall in love with him. That which led to, because he didn't have any other distractions or anything, so there was no problem in the pod. He asked him to marry him, asked her to marry him. Now, he has always said he had this problem of being short and girls don't like short guys like that. And that was his one problem in dating. Now, Taylor is a tall girl, and I think she might want to also date a tall boy. But immediately they met each other, the way Taylor's expression was, I was like, yeah, yeah, this is problematic. But she decided to go with it. They kissed. He gave her the ring. He told her he was happy. You know, it felt like everything was going to be well. I was like, okay, fine. She doesn't find any issue with him being short, him being a short king. She doesn't have any issue with it. Just for the next screen to come on our screen, and she said like she felt like all the things that Daniel told her during the pod, he knew about her before they came to the show because it seems like he followed her on Instagram and unfollowed her on Instagram. Now, the Instagram was the problem. She felt like he followed her on Instagram, and anybody that follows her on Instagram knows, literally, you will know everything about her because almost everything she said on the pod about herself is on her Instagram. So if you follow her on Instagram, you will know everything about her. And the way he kind of made them look as if they were aligned, that it was giving her suspicious, and she felt like he was the one because there was a picture she remembered the picture of him on a, I don't know, I forgot where she said she saw him sitting down holding a drink, and she felt like it was him. And she felt like he followed her on Instagram, knew everything about her, then came on the show when he found out she was the one. But I'm like, isn't that a stretch? Like, isn't that a stretch? For someone, did he know that she was literally coming to the show? Did she, I don't know, I've not followed her on Instagram. Did she post that he was coming on the show? But I think they will all get the information at once. But I'm not sure he would have known prior, before, like when they applied, that she too was going to apply. So I don't see that reasoning. I felt like she was trying to look for an escape. She was trying to look for an escape to run from the situation. That is my opinion. I felt like she was looking for an escape to run away from dating Daniel. And since Daniel has not been bad, he didn't do anything wrong, he didn't do anything stupid, he didn't say anything stupid. Like, so she went for the easiest thing and be like, oh, Instagram, he's followed me on Instagram. I'm like, that's a lame excuse. That's a very lame excuse. Even when she met up with him and said, do you follow me on Instagram? And he said, I don't follow you on Instagram. She asked him about the picture. He said, I don't have a picture like that. The only picture I've taken with a Christmas tree, I was in my backyard and I wasn't even holding a drink. So which picture are you talking about? He tried to tell her that no, there's not anything like that. But I felt like at that moment she just wanted an excuse to run away from Daniel. That is my own opinion. That there was never anything like that. Like, she should have shown us, but though she said he has unfollowed her, so there's no way she would know. She would be able to show us. But um I don't know. Do people, maybe because me, I follow people and I don't think I go and read their bio and find out everything about them. I don't really do that. So I don't know if people do that, but for me, I just feel, in my own opinion as a viewer, I felt like it was an overstretch for her saying that about Daniel. That's my own opinion. So next week we're gonna see how it's gonna be, because all the couples that got married are gonna be in their honeymoon phase. We're gonna see how that's gonna play out, and it seems like they are gonna be bringing everybody to the honeymoon, and we're gonna see how that will also play out. We are gonna see how that is gonna play out. It's gonna be a funny experience because we know that a lot of things being said on the pod will get exposed and lies get exposed, and I love that. I can't wait for those lies being those lies getting exposed. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to click the description button down below, subscribe, like, and comment on this video. We'll see you guys on another